Hello, I'm Serac, and today I'm bringing you my upgraded Cyberdark deck. This is a trap-focused build, and can be built using 3 copies of the structure deck, and about £45–50 more, so the whole deck should cost you under £80. So, let's get into it. We have 2 copies of Cyberdark Chimera. This searches Power Bond, lets us fuse from the graveyard, and lets us dump a card to the graveyard. Also has 2100 defense, which is important for some other cyber shenanigans. We have 2 copies of normal, plain, vanilla Cyberdragon. We play this for the name, and because it's a level 5, which allows us obviously to make Nova and Infinity, which is what this deck does. It makes Nova and Infinity. This is a trap-focused build, so we're banking on Infinity plus our suite of powerful traps to get us through. We then have 3 Cyberdragon Core. This, obviously, if it's normal summon, searches us any cyber spell or trap. And then, if our opponent controls a monster, we can banish this card and special summon a card from the deck. So it gives us some recovery, and more importantly, searches our spells and traps. Remember, it can also search our Cyberdark spells and traps, because they have the word cyber in their name. We play 2 copies of Cyberdragon Hertz. Hertz can make itself level 5, very important, can also be machine duped into a Cyberdragon, which alongside Core is also very important, and searches if it goes to the graveyard, i.e. if you fuse with it, or you link it off, or you overlay with it. We have 3 copies of Cyberdark Claw. Cyberdark Claw allows us to, most importantly, search our Cyberdark spells and traps. So, Cyberdark Realm and Cybernetic Horizon, because that is always treated as Cyberdark. The other effect is less important, and the sent to the graveyard while equipped is nice, but rarely comes up. You're mainly using this for its discard from hand effect to search the Cyberdark spell trap. We then have 1 Cyberdragon Master as a level 1 normal summon that can also make Almirage, can also become Cyberdragon, so as a machine dupe target, and can also bring back something from the graveyard. Locks you into machines, but that does not matter because we're playing about 3 non-machines in this deck. Maybe 4. 1 Cyberdark Cannon. This allows us to search for the Cyberdark monsters. It's slightly less important because generally we don't want the monsters in our hand, we want them in the graveyard. Again, the sent to the graveyard while equipped is nice, but just a little bonus, rarely coming up. And then we play 1 Edge and 1 Horn for extra Cyberdark names, so we can make Cyberdarkness Dragon. We're not playing OG Cyberdark Dragon because it's terrible. So we're playing Cyberdarkness Dragon. We then play 1 Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, because Buster locking people is how this deck wins. You can make Cyberdark, any of your Cyberdarks, and then equip this either through their own effect or through the Cyberdark trap, and then your opponent is now locked out of their extra deck and they have to out this. And 1 Jizukiru, because we can search it, and because sometimes you're made to go second and you need to get rid of a Dragoon. So, onto our spells. We have 3 Cyber Emergency. This just searches everything because we really need it. Searches Cyberdragon monsters. Very important, so it searches Core, searches Naxter, searches Hertz, as well as regular Cyberdragon. Again, the destroying effect is okay, but rarely comes up. 3 Machine Duplication, because copying names of things is fun, and then that makes an instant Infinity with 2 cards. So, yeah, we play Machine Dupe because it puts Cyberdragons on the board for free and allows us to make Infinity. 3 Cybernetic Horizon. This is the most important Cyberdark card in the deck. It's searchable, obviously, with Claw, and it dumps stuff to the graveyard, and also dumps Cyber End Dragon out of our extra deck if we want to make Cyberdark End Dragon. Again, locks us into machines. Doesn't matter a huge amount. Just remember you can't activate it if you have made an Almirage already. But yes, it just fills the grave with Cyberdark stuff, which means we can then use Chimera's effect to fuse from the grave, or Overload Fusion to fuse from the grave. Very, very strong card. 2 copies of Cyberdark Realm. This, again, allows us to search for our copies of Claw, our copies of Chimera, and gives us an extra normal summon, which can really, really help unclog our hand. And then also, if you equip using the effect of a Cyberdark monster, you can equip from your opponent's graveyard. It's a nice little bit of graveyard hate, but most of the time we're going to be equipping from our own graveyard because we want to equip our Buster. 1 Cyber Repair Plant, because it allows us to search Jizukiru and also allows us to recycle stuff. That's the main reason. 1 Power Bond, because it's the best fusion spell we have now, because it's searchable. And therefore we only need to run 1, and it helps us facilitate OTKs. Remember, if you're in time, this can be really, really devastating to you, but also remember Cyberdarkness Dragon is only 2k normally, so you'll only take 2k damage from that, and in that case it's just like activating a Verte, only your monster is now 4k, so Dragoon can't run over it. But just be aware that, obviously, Dragoon can still pop it. But yeah, we play Power Bond. It's the best fusion spell we have, other than Overload Fusion, which is our other fusion spell of choice. This is a Miracle Fusion for Cyberdarks. Just fuses everything out of the bin. We then play 1 Cyberdark Invasion, because this card is ridiculously good. We can equip stuff from either graveyard as a quick effect to give 1000 attack, which is amazing because obviously attack modulation is in the damage step is great, and also being able to pop cards with our equip cards is great, and also graveyard hate is great. So all 3 of those things are really, really good. But it's searchable, so we only need to run 1. 1 Cybernetic Overflow, because blowing up lots of cards at once is really, really strong. And again, it also allows us to search Cyber Spells traps if they Twin Twister it. 3 Infinite Impermanence, because this card came with the structure deck, so would be mad not to play it, and it's even got Infinity on it. You should know what this card does by now. It negates an effect, can be activated from the hand if you control no cards, and if it's was set, it also negates spell trap effects in the column. Remember, if they activate a spell in its column, as long as there is a monster you can target with its effect, you can negate that spell or trap. And then finally, we play 3 Rivalry of Warlords, because floodgates are fun, and for you, at least not for your opponent. And again, as I've mentioned, 90% of this deck is machines. So, on to our extra deck. We have 1 Cyberdark End Dragon, the big Chungus himself. Must be fusion summoned or summoned with its own effect. We're never fusion summoning this because we don't play Cyberdark Dragon. But we can summon it by tributing a level 10 or lower Cyberdark fusion monster equipped with Cyber End Dragon, because we play Cyberdarkness Dragon and Cyber End Dragon. Unaffected by activated effects, and once per turn you can equip 1 monster from either the graveyard to this card, and then it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of equipped cards equipped to it. So we can equip Buster to this, we can hate stuff out of our opponent's graveyard with this, we can obviously use Invasion to continually equip stuff to this. It's massive, it's 5k, it's unaffected by so much stuff. It's good. But it's hard to make. 1 Cyber End Dragon, we played this just to dump it in the bin to make Cyberdarkness End Dragon. 1 Cyberdarkness Dragon. This must be fusion summoned. If it's special summoned, you get to equip a dragon or a machine to the card. Gains attack equal to that, and when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send the 1 equipped card, does not have to be equipped to this monster, negate the activation and destroy that card. So this is our monster negate, our spell negate, and our trap negate. It's wonderful, isn't it? So as long as we can set this up with things like Cyberdark Invasion to get an increasing number of things on the board, we can essentially keep making more negates with this. And again, it can also sub-equip Dragonbuster to itself. We then have 2 copies of Chimeratech Rampage Dragon. This is our spell trap card, Hate, and also can attack multiple times. Other than that, it's good for OTKs because it dumps stuff out of our deck to prevent bricks on further turns. 1 Mega Fleet Dragon, because sometimes your opponent leaves their Appaloosa in their extra monster zone and then you get to laugh at them. That's the main reason for this. If your opponent's left something big in their extra monster zone, then you get to laugh at them by making a Mega Fleet Dragon. So then we get onto our copies of Cyberdrak Infinity. This is an Omni Negate that we summon with Nova, gets bigger for each material. We can attach stuff that's in attack position to it as material, and then it's an Omni Negate on top of that. We then have Cyberdragon Nova. This is pretty much only ever used because it can summon Infinity. I don't think I've ever seen its actual effects be used. But there you go. We play it because we have to, because Infinity is a rank 6. 1 Cyberdragon Seeker. This allows us to push over damage to get through really big beaters and things like Dragoon by just pumping something up by 2100 attack. Other than that, it's a generic link 2 that we make because it only requires machine monsters and it has a downward pointing arrow. So then onto our generic links, we have 1 Salamangreat Almirage. Sometimes you just need to put something in the bin to get your game rolling, and Almirage is obviously the best link 1. 1 Protector Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. This is how we dump Dragonbuster into the bin. It's a generic link 2. It is literally the most generic link 2 possible, and obviously sticks the whelp straight into the bin. Then finally, we have 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Unicorn, because sometimes there are just problematic cards on the field that you have to deal with somehow. And we all know about these cards by now. So that is the deck. I focused heavily on the trap aspect and the ability to set up a really sort of sticky monster on the field. The deck is obviously really, really cheap, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again with more deck profiles soon.